How's it going? Are we good? Yeah? I'm good. Thank you guys for coming. I'm heading out soon, going to Korea on Monday, kind of, you know? And then I told my mom about it, and she was really weird about it, right? She was like, "You're going? I'm going to go with you. And this will be the last time I ever go." I was like, just go, you know? And I realized, I was like, oh, this is the difference between like bougie immigrants and broke immigrants, right? Like if you're a bougie immigrant, you only travel because you want to see something, right? You're like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to go to the Maldives? We could go to Italy. Don't you want to see Italy, right? If you're a broke immigrant, you only travel to rectify shit that happened in your troubled past. That's what you do. I gotta go back to Korea. I gotta say some shit to my mom before she... before she passes away, and I have to hold on to this anger forever. But no, I'm not from around here. I came here for school. I was an English major, very literary, right? So I read a lot of books, right? But I also watch a lot of garbage on the internet and just nothing in between, you know? Some of my friends are like, "Hey, Will, have you seen Ms. Marvel?" I'm like, "Have you read George Eliot's Middlemarch?" And or seen that racist wipe swap episode? Dude, this is an insane episode, you know? Makes dating very difficult too, because if I'm seeing someone, they're just like, "Hey, can we go outside and watch the new Thor movie?" I'm like, "No, we're gonna stay inside and watch this wisdom teeth removal animation that the YouTube algorithm has blessed us with." They're like, "Then we can have sex?" I'm like, "No, we're gonna watch Shrek without Shrek. That's what we're gonna do." That shit is 4 minutes, is it not? You know? Yeah. I'm a kid of immigrants. Are we kids of immigrants in here? Woo! Yeah, that's good. Are we? Okay, woo if you're first gen. Are we first gen? Amazing. That's great. We're the shit, you know? Because I don't know if you understand, but like if you're first gen, your parents are up here being all toxic and shit, right? And then you gotta brunt that. And then turn to you. If you decide to have kids, who knows? World is ending, right? But you have to turn to those kids and just be normal. Like, what the fuck is that, right? Like up here, just like, you don't know the first thing about suffering, you know? And you take that and who wants to go to laser tag? You know, like. The only thing I love more than cookie dough ice cream is my kids, you know? It's fucked up, right? We're just brunting everything, you know? Just brunting everything, being like, this time hurt people won't hurt people, you know? Y'all ever meet a second gen kid? They're all like weird and well adjusted, you know? It's fucked up. I'm like, no one that good at setting boundaries can be fun to be around, right? Like, I don't want to go to the water park. Oh, well, you know? But yeah, I'm a kid of immigrants. And when you're a kid of immigrants, there are certain things that you got to do because your parents were too busy trying to figure out American society, you know? Like, my dad was always too busy translating Hot Pocket instructions into Korean to really teach me about bullies, right? I was like, "Dad, can you teach me the ways of the world?" And he was like, "Sorry, son, I'm too busy creating the lean cuisine, Rosetta Stone." This shit's gonna help us with our taxes. But no, yeah, I got bullied for being both fat and Asian, you know, and there's no chapter in that English is a second language textbook that will teach you how to tell Ben Jones to go fuck himself, right? There's no chapter. And so I go to my mom, like, "Mom, dealing with these bullies, can you help me?" And she tried her best, right? But she was never helpful. She was like, "Okay, how about this? Tomorrow, you will go up to those bullies and you'll try saying this. Hey! Is your mouth asshole? Yeah, it's a slow burn. Yeah, think about that one a little bit, right? Think about it, you know? I was thinking about it, I was like, Mom, that is actually pretty literary, you know? Like, there's almost something Shakespearean about that shit when you think about it, huh? Like, Hawk, is your mouth asshole for it? Doth spew at the shite. Into those porches of mine ears, you know? Yeah, love my mom, very literary person. But she's no help with bullies, so I go to my dad. I'm like, Dad, dealing with these bullies, can you help me? And he's equally, if not more, useless than my mom is. He's like, okay, how about this? Tomorrow, you will go up to those bullies, and you'll try saying this. Hey! Stop it! Cut it out! I have not tried that. Cool. We're going with the same strategy that factory chickens use on their way to the electric bath. That's what we're going with. Works pretty well for them. That's the thing, though. Like, if your parents are learning English, they haven't figured out the subconscious rules that go into insults, right? So a lot of the times they will give you garbage, but every so often they'll give you gold. Right? I'll give you guys an example. One time, my dad got so mad at someone at Best Buy that he called that person a very goofy movie. Dude, it was insane. He was all like, fuck you, motherfucker! You are a very goofy movie! I'm like, damn, Dad, that shit is baller, you know? I'm gonna start doing that. You can tell my dad's a real fuck bitches, get money kind of guy. That's his life. He used to work at a Costco, and he'd tell me about the racial politics of the Costco storefront. He'd be like, William, you have to know the lay of the land. You have to play the political game. You can't just hang out with whoever you want. I know when I go in there, all the white people hang out over here, all the black people hang out over here, and so I hang out with the Asian microwaves. That is my friend group. His best friend is like this Samsung smart refrigerator. That's his pal. Yeah, over the last 5 years, he's been getting pretty radicalized on the internet. Any of us who have parents whose political beliefs are just a bunch of purple hyperlinks? Any of us got that? But no, my dad's not going that way. My dad's going very far left, right? Yeah. Like, I'm the conservative one when we go to Thanksgiving. It's crazy, right? We'll be sitting around the table, just silence. My dad will stand up. He'll be like, William, I think I'm the third gender. I'm like, you are not. You are not the third gender. It's not male, female, 6-year-old Korean dude. That's not how it goes, right? But that's the thing. My dad's trying to get woke in his 60s, which you're not supposed to do, right? Your job is to get woke in your 20s, surrounded by like white women with nose piercings. That's the rules, right? And so now my dad's just like reading everything online and just saying whatever he wants to say, right? And so he's messing it up, you know? Like, I'll give you an example. My dad cares a lot, just a lot, so much, about indigenous native land back movements. And nothing else. That's his only jam. Dude, it's insane talking to him, right? Because he's like, William, did you know that all lives matter on this stolen land? fuck am I gonna do with this guy, you know? Like, you guys should hear him talk about Mount Rushmore, right? It's insane. He's like, William, Mount Rushmore has no right to exist. I'm like, dude, we are Korean. Like, there is nothing that you could have done, you know? At this point, that shit seems like it's already set in stone. That did not deserve that, but thank you. 10 minutes on the immigrant experience and a stupid pun. That's how we're going so far. English is my parents' second language. Any of us got genius parents here? Yeah. I'm very proud of them because I'm like, yeah, it's hard to operate daily in a language that isn't your first, you know? But sometimes I feel like they're getting a little bit too proud of themselves, you know? Like, for instance, my dad has this app on his phone, and every day it gives him one new SAT vocab word, right? So every time I call him, he tries to work in at least 5 new SAT vocab words into our conversation. He'll be like, William, how is it hanging out with your very gregarious friends? And then he pulls out a long pipe and a horn of ivory. And he goes, I'm too incorrigible for you. Yeah. He's also bad at messaging. Do we have parents who are bad at messaging here? I know all of you. What, you know? What, I don't know. Are your parents bad at messaging? What do they do?
I don't know if they're bad at it.
Mm-hmm.
My mom is actually pretty good at sending like really long, weird strings of emojis.
Oh, I see. The long strings of emojis.
It's artful.
Okay. You're like, I appreciate this. You're like, a story is being told in front of my very eyes. That's fun. Okay. My dad does this thing where he will put too much into the family group chat, right? Like, I'm like, don't put, I don't want to wake up to your paragraphs, man, you know? I'm like, don't put the family history into the family group chat. We don't need that, right? Like, I'll wake up, I'll check my phone, and he'll be like, William, it was 1982. Chun Do-won was the military dictator of South Korea. I had yet to see my first white titty and Adam Sandler feature film. And this is where our story begins. My parents aren't here. A lot of people will be like, I don't know, because like some people will be like, oh, I brought my parents to the stand-up show, right? And I don't think I could do that, you know? Like, I look at them and I'm like, you guys don't have the cultural knowledge and competency to understand what's going on, you know? Like, if my parents were here in the back, they'd look at this and be like, what kind of fucked up ritual is this, you know? What kind of pagan shit is our son doing right now, you know? And that's because, like in South Korea, there's not really, like, a conception of stand-up comedy just yet, you know? Like, it's emerging, it's not solidified, right? And so when I say I'm doing comedy, my parents think that I'm good. Oh, that's not stable. We saw it oscillate a little bit, didn't we? Okay. My parents, so when I say I'm doing comedy, my parents think I'm just gonna be like running into a wall at high speeds, holding like 3 birthday cakes, you know? They think I'm just gonna be dropping a hilarious amount of ping pong balls, you know? Stuff that is genuinely funnier than the stuff I'm doing right now, right? You guys are like, you should drop a bunch of ping pong balls. That would be fun. I'm actually gonna drink this. You guys can talk about. Look at you wooing for the most basic of functions that I'm performing right now. Yeah, you guys can talk amongst yourselves while I drink water. That's the, you know. But yeah, no, I did show a set to my dad once, and he did not like it. Dude was visibly angry, right? He was like, what the fuck, what the fuck? Was this a very goofy movie too, you know? I felt really weird because it's like, not many people get to have the experience of being in a room with someone who's just getting angrier and angrier and angrier at the fact that you're not falling in a tub of whipped cream, right? Like, this is a new experience, you know? Yeah. I grew up kind of broke. Is that a thing that any of us did? Yeah. The sad woos we have, don't we? These are woos. These are woos that are on an income-based repayment plan right now. These are woos that get an email and go, "Oh yeah, right, I forgot about that." You know? My check has been processed. Okay, you know. But yeah, I grew up kind of broke, but it's like, when you grow up broke, it's not like you're broke, right? Your parents are broke. You're just chilling, you know? And it's fine as long as you don't pay attention, you know? Like, if I paid attention, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's not cool to share one pair of sneakers with you and your mom. That's not cool, you know? Like, I don't know if any of you guys did this, but me, for instance, I took a lot of no bubble baths. You guys ever do the no bubble bath? Dude, that shit is awful, right? You can just see your naked body in the water. I remember being 13 just being like, ugh, you know? Just watching my penis float around. Moving with the current like it's ocean fauna, you know? I was like, my body in this water looks like a bunch of hot dogs in a New York City hot dog cart. I hope someone picks me up and puts me on a comfy little bun. I'm a little hot dog on a comfy little bun. That line never hits, but I do like saying it a lot. So it's made it this far in this draft of the set, right? Well, hot dog on a comfy little bun. I think that one was just for me, you know. I think one time that I realized that we were really broke was we did a yard sale, right? And then usually, like, if you see a yard sale on TV, like, everyone's got their stuff in the yard, and then, like, people walk in, they go, hey, how's it going? Like, I'll buy this, right? And so we did the same thing. We put all the stuff in the front yard, and we just didn't sell anything for like 6 hours. And I was like, oh, this is, oh, I know. Okay, did not know. I did not know that our house is the last stop that things make on their way to the dumpster. I didn't know it went our house, the dumpster, and then the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. You guys ever see news of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch on CNN and recognize your own My Little Pony? You know? It's not a good feeling. I'm also a young dude. Are we kind of young people here? We don't know. We have the health problems of people in their 40s, don't we? You're like, I feel 20, but my back hurts. You know? I'm quite a young dude. I'm 24. A lot of older dudes will be like, oh yeah, the 90s, the 80s. That was the time to be alive, right? And I get that. I get that sense of nostalgia too, right? But it's just like my point of nostalgia is like 2014, you know? Like ISIS is my nostalgia period. Like my first sexual experience, there's just like a journalist being murdered in the background, you know? I was like, dude, are you seeing this? It's insane, right? I think one thing that I miss about that time period from 2008 to 2014, though, were the songs, right? Like, not to be all like songs these days as a 24-year-old, but I feel like songs these days don't have as many O's or what-os. As they used to, right? Like, remember 2010? All songs were just like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then in 2012, the Lumineers were all just like, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey. And that was like music for 5 years, right? I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, I think before the O's and what O's, I think it was really the shooby-dooba, right? I think the shooby-dooba was the O's and what O's of yesteryear, you know? Dude, if I heard the shooby-dooba today, though, I'd call the police. I'd be like, officer, there's a groovy hate crime around this smoky corner. Yeah, I don't know if you guys feel this, but I really miss sexually developing. I'm a grown dude, you know? Because I'm like, oh, this is it, you know? Oh, this is the final form? And the final form has high blood pressure and needs transition lenses? Like what, you know? I got transition lenses recently. Still trying to get over the social stigma. But no, when you're sexually developing, I feel like the whole thing is this fun adventure, you know? Like for me, I really miss my childhood sexuality, right? Like I miss being like a sexual being as a kid, right? Because it's weird, right? Like it's always gonna be weird, right? Because as a kid, you're not really taught by society what's attractive and what's unattractive just yet, right? And so you're just supposed to come up with attraction out of nowhere, out of nothing, right? I'll give you guys an example. Personally, I got my first erection from an episode of Caillou. Y'all remember Caillou? I remember Caillou. It was really a show about nothing. It was really the Seinfeld of children's television, wasn't it? You know? And it wasn't the episode itself. It was at the end of each episode, there was always this like live action section, right? And this one was about eating right and eating healthy. And so it had all these like people dancing around, dressed up as food. Right? And let me tell you something, that image just set something off in me, you know? And so from that moment up until like 6th grade, I was really attracted to people dressed up as food, right? Like I'd go on our family computer, I'd type in food costumes. People dressed up as food. I didn't know how to jack off either, so I did is I laid a blanket on the ground, and then I straddled it, and then I lifted both ends up as high as I could. No one teaches you. You gotta figure out shit on your own, right? You've gotta mature. You gotta be like, oh, I don't need the blanket. I got you. I can just use our coffee table. That's what. And then as I got older, it just kind of went away, you know? Like I just stopped being attracted to people dressed up as Kate, right? And so I was watching like normal-ish porn one day. And I was like, oh, thank God that food costume shit went away, you know? Thank God it didn't persist up until... You guys are like, he totally still has it. No! It's gone, okay? You're gonna have to take my word for it, all right? Yeah. I think sex ed is wasted on the youth. Don't teach it to them, no? I'm 24, give it to me, I need it now, you know? I could really use like a bunch of gym teachers in my life to teach me how to put condoms on without ruining the mood, right? That's what I need, you know? Like last time I did sex ed, I was in 8th grade. And that class was too advanced for me. right? They're like, dude, you're definitely fucking. I was like, no, I don't know what a hypotenuse is, okay? Teach me that first. I still think penis is funny. Like, no, you know? Yeah. Like, believe it or not, that class was actually the only time that I ever cheated off the cheerleaders in school, right? I was like, hey, you guys tell me where the G-spot is. I'll tell you guys what Huckleberry Finn's really all about. That's what I'm doing. Huckleberry Finn. It's a trade one, mate. But no, now I'm older, you know? I have narrow and deep research questions about the human sexual experience, right? Like, let's see how much we know. Do you guys know how to make a dental dam out of a condom? Yeah, amazing. We're smart, yeah. Well, for the uninitiated here, what you do is you cut the top off of the condom, and you cut a line down the middle, and you unroll it, and that's your dental dam, right? I know, we learned something today, right? But the thing is, like, I learned that in the sex ed class, but they didn't let me practice. And I could have used the practice, right? Because in reality, you're supposed to both make the create the dental dam and be sexy and keep the mood at the same time. Which is impossible, right? Like, what's gonna happen? The person's gonna be like, yeah, I'm so horny. And I'll be like, great, let me do some crafts. Yeah. Do you guys know how to blow directionally into the condom to figure out which way it goes? Oh, no? Well, I guess the gym teacher has become the gym master today. Okay? I am fucking at a postdoctoral level, you idiots! Yeah. One more thing. Are we familiar with the concept of soaking? Is that something that we're familiar with? No? Very familiar? Less familiar? Okay. Well, for, you know, soaking is this like religious sex loophole that people will do, right? It's not necessarily religious, it's just a sex loophole, right? And where the penis will go into the vagina, or vagina onto penis if you're a liberal, you know? And they will just stay there, soaking, right? And so you can be like, oh, I just happen to be in this situation. Like, I'm good. The sex is the motion itself, so I haven't seen their gun. I'm good, right? And the third thing that they will do is they will have a third party jumping on the bed, producing the motion of the ocean. And so then the person can be like, oh, I just happen to be in this situation. Like, oh, this person's having, oh, that's just Steve. He's just jumping on the bed right now, you know? I'm good, right? And I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, you definitely need like a spring mattress for that to work, don't you? You can't do that shit on memory foam, right? Like, we have all seen the commercials, haven't we? Yeah. Like, imagine a Tempur-Pedic commercial where the dude's jumping on the bed, right? But instead of a wine glass, it's just like a Mormon couple not coming. I'd be like, dude, that's a pretty good mattress, isn't it? You know? There's no stains on that at all, right? Can do another sex thing. I don't. Yeah, this whole set is just immigrants and sex, and then songs with O's and whoas. That's the fulcrum of this. But no, I think as a society we're getting kind of subby, like sexually. You know? Like, if you go online, everyone's just like, daddy hit me, daddy spanked me, daddy spit on me. Whatever happened to daddy? Stop flashing back to the Korean War, huh? But no, I think currently in society, we are at a 1 dom to 5 sub ratio, right? Guys, it's only gonna get worse, you know? Like, CNN is just like, dude, the housing market, inflation, it's all gonna fuck us up. I'm like, no, there is a much bigger crisis on the horizon. We're about to become a society of all subs, and that's not something that Biden's America can handle. Just soft launching for the Republican Party right now. That's guys, let me talk. Subs. That's the platform now. Like, I don't want to assume anyone's kink, but if you're a dom in today's society, you're doing God's work, right? You are taking care of the community. It's a needed skill. You can make money being a dom. There are dominatrixes, right? If you show up somewhere as a sub, people look at you and they go, oh, this dude's just another mouth to fill. That's what It's not the most intellectually stimulating punchline, but it is in the set, you know? I have mapped out 14 different ways this bit can end, and it all leads to you're just another mouth to fill. No, I think the reason that we're getting kind of subby is because of Reaganomics, right? If you think about it, it makes sense, you know? Just like the gutting of social programs since the 80s. It's like, when have any of us felt security? Like true security. In the last 40 years, right? That means the only way that we can feel secure is in the arms of a big mommy or daddy dom, right? Like if I had a latex boot on my neck right now, I'd be like, oh yeah, this feels like Medicaid. That's what it feels like. It feels like I don't have to do a copay for my transitions. That's what Yeah. I can leave you guys with one thing. I talked a lot about my dad. I can talk about my mom too. My mom has all these stories that she uses to discipline her kids, right? Because she thinks that trauma is wisdom. Does it make sense, you know? Like my mom's just like, hey, I lived through shit and that makes me wise. I'm like, you could live through shit and be dumb. Like that's also a possibility. But no, all our stories start the same way, you know? It's just a very subtle, hey, you never know! You don't know! You know? And then she'll start her actual story, right? She'll be like, I was a college student in Seoul in the 80s. I was in a cafe. A bomb went off. There was glass everywhere. Right? I go outside, and from the top of the building, I could see a girl, one of our classmates, throwing leaflets into the street. And then I saw a police officer climb up that building, grab that girl by her hair, pull her inside, and we didn't hear from her again. Right? And then I'm like, okay, I will put this bag of Kit Kats back in the Walmart checkout counter. And I guess we'll just enjoy the sweet taste of American freedom. And that's what we'll pick. Thank you very much, guys. Take care. That's it from me. I'm going to be leaving, and give it up for all the comics that you saw one more time. I'm glad you guys liked them. They were each phenomenal, you know. And then give it up for Chris, who's behind the camera right now, filming all of this. Yeah. And we'll see what my tentative plans right now are. Like, I think what I was trying to do for this one is do 30 minutes, and then I'm going to leave, go to Korea, come back, try to do another, or do it there, and then kind of sew the two together. So we'll see how that goes, or maybe it'll just be one big thing. But that's kind of tentatively where it is But yeah, thank you guys for coming. We gotta head out now for the next show. And I was inviting people to my very small apartment. And I don't know how many people will show up, but if you want to go, just let me know, and I'll give you my number. All right, take care, guys. Good night.